Hi, I'm Christopher.
And I'm Michael.
Do you have time for a few questions about content?
I can manage it.
All right.
Yep.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about content because it seems to be the word that most e-learning developers use to describe their work, a lot like Netflix. Except that I hear you talk about the work that we do at Allen Interactions in terms of experiences. In your mind, what's the big difference between content and experiences?
Oh, big difference. Big difference. So you might think of content as the parts of a car, but you don't buy a car for its parts. You buy it for its performance. It's what it can do. And content is important, but we learn mostly from experiences, and we want to make experiences meaningful, memorable, motivational, 3 big M's. Want to make it come alive so that it's with you. I think of learning most often as connecting, and if this, then that. So if this is the situation I'm in, then if I do this, I'll get that resolution or that. So much learning is really just making the connections between two things, whether it's facts or whether it's things that I do as a performer. And so I want to make content come alive as an ingredient for an experience that enables me to do things better. So I'm all about thinking what experience is really going to give me the insights and the skills that I need to succeed. And when I understand what that experience is, then I know what content I'll need to build it.
Gotcha. So then a follow-up question about content. The rapid tools that most e-learning authors use chunk development in terms of pages or slides, and then you hear e-learning developers talk about seat time or hours. How do you reconcile the types of stuff that we do in CCAF in terms of chunks of measurement, so that when you're describing a project, you know how big it is?
Well, it's tricky, I must say, because many factors are involved. If you talk about seat time, my question is, whose seat are we talking about? Because are you talking about what's the maximum amount of time somebody might take to go through some training, or are you talking about the fastest, or are you talking about the average? And does the average really represent anybody? So those measures are misleading. But handy, it's just sort of as a practical thing. We talk about it. It wouldn't surprise you, I don't think, for me to say that I think of it in terms of how many experiences do you need? So I break it down into what are the things I need to go through, to do, to practice in order to have mastered the skills that you're trying to teach me. And so we break it down. Maybe the best way to think about it is in terms of the old standard objectives. What are the performance objectives you want me to achieve? And then I look at each one of those and say, how many experiences is it going to take for people to really achieve that level of performance? And of course, really important is the confidence that they can perform those newly learned skills as well. So you want overlearning to a certain extent, or practice beyond just getting it right once. I want to know that I can always get it right.
When we talk about designing learning experiences, we talk about it in terms of CCAF. Mm-hmm. Where does content fit in there? Is it one of the C's?
No. Surprise, surprise, right? I'm sure that most people, if they were guessing what those components were, would think that one of them is content. But actually, the content is all the parts and pieces that build the experience, right? So we talk about context, which is the situation you're in. 1C. We talk about a challenge as, what am I supposed to do in this situation? What am I supposed to achieve? The A is the carrying out of the activity in a simulated way that relates to something I might actually do. And the feedback is basically the consequences of what I've just done and any guidance I might need. So the next time I try, I'll do it more efficiently and effectively.
Well, thanks for doing time for a few questions about content. I have more questions, so we'll do this again.
Okay.
Thanks.